Well, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today it's Sunday and it's absolutely boiling here on the farm, and there's lots of news, lots has been going on which I'll tell you about. So I finally finished off mowing all of the marshes, mulching them up and getting the pastures ready for weed wiping. And now next on the list is we've got to do the field margins around this part of the farm where the machinery is, and also we're going to make the silage this week. So I'm just going to whip down to the marshes and we're going to go and check the silage fields and open some gates so that the tractors can get down there this week. And then also when I come back, we've got to just do a quick bit of mulching, and then I want to get this tractor onto a trailer for silage. Okay, so we've just arrived at the track which we use to get down to the marshes where we cut the silage, and one of the problems we have every year down here is where these silage fields are, there's a forest, there's some woods, and people come out to the woods to walk their dogs, which is fine, except when we bring the tractor and trailer down here, it's always a bit of a problem because people park their cars, or have started to park their cars in the road, and when you want to get past with a tractor and trailer, if there's they've started to park cars on the verge this side as well, it's quite difficult to come through here with the silage. So we're going to have to come up with a solution. Maybe if we get up really early and come down here and just have a word with people who are just parking on the road, then we can get some things done. And this particular piece is always difficult to come through with the tractors because people park their cars on the right and also on the left, and you can hardly get through this part of the road, which is it's just such a nightmare, you know, when we're just trying to get the grass. So being a farmer here in the UK, not only do you have to grow your crops, feed your animals and look after your livestock and repair equipment when it goes wrong, but you've also as well got to be able to speak and negotiate to people, just so that you can basically come down the road to pick up crops such as silage. It could be maize, it could be grain, it could be anything, and I'm sure lots of farmers out there who are watching perhaps do have a little bit of a problem with members of the public who perhaps park their cars in the wrong way at harvest time when you're trying to get through equipment just to get your job done, because that's, you know, all we want at the end of the day is we just need to get the job done. We're doing a job, which is really important, and I think maybe if some of you guys could just let people know, your friends, your family, if you're from farming or if you're not from farming, that farmers are just trying to do their job in the summertime. So if you see a tractor on the road, just bear with it, be patient, and it will pull over or it will go down a road to a field and you won't have to follow it for too long. But the cars and the traffic up the road just beyond the woods there aside, it's actually really quite pleasant when we come down here, and we've been making silage off these marshes here for a long time, about 20 years now, and it's sort of the farm's main land for producing silage for feeding the animals over winter, the cattle, the sheep and the horses, and it's really quite nice down here. It really is a pleasant time at this time of the year. So this is it, this is what we're going to be cutting on Tuesday, and Mike's going to come in with his mower and cut it, because I'm going to be rowing it and turning it and rowing it with the coon tedder, which I just put some new tines on last week, and it's all gone to head, a lot of the grass, as you can see, and the reason for that is because we put it in a scheme here, an environmental scheme which pays the farm a little bit of money, and it actually works out better to not put fertiliser on it, to just go in the environmental scheme and sort of produce it at a much lower cost, if you know what I mean, and it works fine. It hasn't got as much energy because of it, but what you do get is good low energy food for the horses, which the horses really like, and it's good for the suckler cows because you don't want to feed them too much, too hard when they're in calf, otherwise you have a difficult calving. So it's actually not too bad a supplement. We normally cut this on the 14th of July, which is when the scheme says to cut it, but this year we're cutting it a little bit later, a few days later, because Mike has been busy, the chap who's going to mow it. So this is all going to be cut and we'll row it up. It's a little bit rough in places. I know where they are because I've learnt the marshes now, so I'll be steady with the tedder, with the coon tedder, and then I'll row it up afterwards and we'll get it all baled and wrapped the same day. Okay, so we're just going to go and check some livestock, and then I'm going to whip back to the farm, and I just thought I'd answer some questions which I've had about the Land Rover. It's been absolutely brilliant so far. I've started to form a little bit of a bond actually with the Land Rover. I enjoy going along the road. It's tuned in the radio to Radio 2, I think, or Radio 4, and I just listen to some classic tunes, and I let the world go by, put the windows down. I can go anywhere with it off-road, and also I can go on the road. I used to go a lot into the city, but I don't really go into the city as much anymore. I went in the other night actually, and I was just going into the town for an Indian with a friend, and we had a meal out, and then we went to a pub, and there was so many people fighting in the pub that we went to another pub, and then that pub was dead. And then we went to a few other pubs, and in the end I just thought it's actually not worth going out to the city anymore, which actually proves my point of recently acquiring the Landy. You know, there's a new world emerging, and it's a sort of I think it will be inclined more towards, basically, if you live in the countryside, if you're an outdoors person, now is probably going to be your time. Being outdoors, getting out there with the livestock, or out here with the woodlands, you know, and a good off-road vehicle, I mean, I think you'll be in a good position. Okay, we're just back at the farm now, and just going to check the engine oil. Yeah, it's due a service in the next 50 hours. Yeah, it's good on oil, good for this week. But we do want to get a service pretty soon. I blew it all out as well last week, blew all the radiator and the filters out. Right, so what we're going to do just this afternoon is we're going to go and have a look at the field margins, which are the grass strips just around where the crops are, and it's now time to mow them down and to allow the wildlife basically to move out of the way. So what we're going to do is just cut one strip on the right hand side, and then we're going to, or on the left hand side depending on which way we're driving, and then we're going to leave a strip for the wildlife, and then we'll come back later on in the week and then we'll cut the other strip just so that the wildlife move towards the hedge or towards the field, and we'll go and look at the crops as well. These 6 metre margins around the crop fields because we get a fee, a subsidy for growing these wild bird zones. So as I just go along quite slowly here, the wildlife's just running into the hedge or into the barley just on the left hand side, which has actually been turning this week, as I'm sure a lot of you guys can see. At the end of the day, these margins are for wildlife, so you know, what's the point of mowing them off and scaring the wildlife or damaging wildlife, you know, whilst we're trying to do this job? We have to cut them down because otherwise they just grow out of control and everything would go to seed as it has, and it would just be a complete mess. So they do have to be controlled. We mow them once a year, normally on July the 14th, just like the silage fields, and it works really well. And I just wanted to talk now about tractors. This morning I went to a tractor run. I had a great time. I saw a chap called Arthur who's been doing some digger driving on the farm, building the Gallops, which are just over there, and there were some lovely tractors. Arthur had a lovely Fordson, and there were some brilliant 135s, 35Xs, and all sorts of different pieces of equipment which were just wonderful to see. And I didn't take my video camera with me because I wanted to just go along and enjoy the tractor run, if you know what I mean. It's been a long time since I've been able to go along and just enjoy the day, so it was really pleasant going to see that. And it was so nice to see so many classic original tractors which haven't got too many electronics on them. And I mean a lot of people say, a lot of you guys say that the John Deere's got a lot of electronics on it, which it has, but I'd like to keep this tractor. We'd love to keep it on the farm for a long time and look after this one, because it's probably, of all the tractors, the most comfortable one we've got on the farm. It does all the big jobs, and we have spoken about, you know, a secondary tractor which would join the farm. And recently I've been thinking about an older John Deere. I've always liked John Deere tractors, but an older John Deere with a 6-cylinder engine, which would sound quite good and be a bit more back to basics. So perhaps a 20 series or maybe a 10 series, but I like the 30 series as well. But even the 30 series, I think to have as a secondary classic tractor to do the wrapping and to do the mowing and to do rolling or tedding whilst this John Deere's on the baler, I think would be a good idea. So maybe something like a John Deere 6.920 or a 6.620, something like that. But these things all cost money, so that will probably be the next sort of tractor purchase down the line. The 135 is coming along really well. We've got the Youngs team who have got the engine back now, and before long, in the next couple of weeks, that tractor is going to be nearing completion, and then we'll be back on the farm. Today I saw a lovely International. It was a 275 and it was immaculately restored, and that really got me thinking, you know, about a Heritage International to do up. I've still been looking at the 674 as a small tractor, but at the moment we're just doing this deal on the Richard Weston trailer, just swapping that for this dump trailer, which is sort of the big thing we're doing at the moment. So yeah, it's all coming along very nicely. It's all going, you know, well and the way we want it to go. The barley, if you just look here, is starting to turn. I should imagine by the end of this month we'll get Jeffrey in with the Class Lexion, and we'll cart all of the barley into the shed. And one good thing about doing this job is that when Jeffrey comes along and harvests the barley, he's not going to pick up any grasses or weeds. You know, this is a really important job to do just before harvest when we do get the crop in. And another job I've got to do as well is clean out the grain storage. At the moment it's got the John Deere loader in it, some pallets and some equipment which has got to be moved out of there. So I've got to sweep it out and get it ready for putting the barley in there this year, which is going to go, hopefully, if the barley's good. And it's had a good amount of sun this year, the barley. It's had a very good year. I think it will be able to make malting grade, which means it can go for beer. So we can make hopefully a little bit more money out of it this year, rather than selling it for feed barley, which is something we don't want to do. So it could be a good year to sell it for beer, and as the hares and everything run out into the field from the margins. And I'll just show you the progress up ahead, which has been going on with the Gallops, the horse riding, sort of the horse galloping farm business enterprise, if you want to call it that, rural business, if you like. This has been a lot of work, and would love to say a huge thanks to Alan Collier, who have been working on this project for the last few weeks. And here it is. So this is what the Gallops are looking like at the moment. They're almost finished, and it's now ready to be landscaped along the side with some soil. Arthur's just been getting that ready around the edges to make it a bit of a wall. And then this is the Gallops. So horses can come along here, they can gallop along around this field. It's half a mile long around the whole field, and you can just see Arthur's diggers just up over there. And what it's going to do is it's going to provide a facility, if you like, as I said in the previous video, for people to gallop their horses around here. So they can quite literally go flat out along here. And if you just have a look at this, how long this stretches, they can go all the way down there flat out. And I did say, I have said it in the past, when I get to 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to get on one of the horses in the farmyard, a good one, which the horse girls would have selected, a good one, and I'm going to gallop around here, and we'll try and get a drone up and see how I get on galloping around here as a bit of fun. I haven't ridden a horse in a long time, so I did ride one a couple of months ago just to get back in the saddle, but I'll do a little bit of riding once a week and get back into it for when we do the Gallops, when I do this gallop around the Gallops here for the 100,000 subscriber special. So subscribe to the channel, tell your friends and family. Once we get to 100,000, Ollie's going to be on a horse galloping around a field, half a mile long. So that is going to be quite fun to watch, hopefully, and I hope it will all hopefully go well. That's what's going on with this, and I've been dedicating some of my time to do this off the farm as well. So because it's all part of the farm, you know, it's a rural diversification business. Finish the rest of this mowing around the barley fields, and then I want to clean this tractor out again, blow the radiator off, all that good stuff for silage this week. Well, that's this field just done. We've made a nice corridor here for the wildlife to just escape up, so they can move on to some new ground. And I'm just going to whip through here. There's a nice piece, little gateway I can get through here. Well, quite a wide gateway actually. Don't know what I'm saying, little. And start on these other fields. This barley in here is looking very good on top field. Well, potatoes looking good as well. The irrigators are out at the moment, and yeah, they're looking really well. I can just see the potato companies just over there. They're just harvesting the earlies at the moment, I believe. I would imagine it won't be too long until they're heading around this way. Just next door to that is the farm, which is next door to our one, and they're apparently going to start there a micro dairy with Jersey cows, which is quite interesting because I do like Jersey milk. I have a lot of Jersey milk in my tea and coffee, and I also like Jersey butter as well, so that is going to be fantastic if the farm goes ahead and does it, so that will be really cool. Well, just looking over the hedge, the sugar beet crop is doing remarkably well this year. It's had plenty of sunshine, plenty of rain, which is just what it likes. Normally at this time of the year it's sort of wilting and it's struggling from drought, but luckily this year we've had enough rain, and next week we've got more rain, which will be ideal to keep it going. The barley yield should be pretty good. The sugar beet yield should be good. Also the fodder beet, which we feed to the cattle, and also as well the potatoes in front are looking tremendous as well. So all of the crops are doing well, and the only one crop I'm just a bit concerned about is the second cut of silage, because we just put the fertiliser on a little bit late, because the fertiliser company was just a bit late to put that on, but time will tell with that one as to whether it's going to be a good crop or not. Well, this is where we're going to put the silage this year. It's a bit of a bomb site at the moment because we've been bringing bales of this fibre material for the horse gallops and arena stuff. So I'm going to clean all that up tomorrow. I'm going to be on the dumper tomorrow, not that tractor, but the dumper somewhere around here. And I'm going to just move some sand for Arthur. But this particular pad is where we normally make the silage. And I just got Arthur to level this out with the excavator the other day, so it's a lot tidier, a lot cleaner for putting some bales on. I had a delivery there a while ago and we've been using up these bales, but we're going to put most of this silage this year just on this pad here, and I'll clean this all up and get it ready for putting some bales on. So there we are, guys. I'm just putting the drone up to go and have a look at the gallops. It's about in total length about half a mile long, and they're just nearing completion. So tomorrow I'm going to be on the dumper with Arthur the digger driver, and we're going to put some more sand down and then finish it off with some more material. And then once it's finished, we'll rent it out to riders who want to stretch their horses' legs and go for a good gallop. So it's an ambitious project, and I hope it goes very well in the coming weeks and months. So that's all from me today. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the tractor doing some work, mowing the margins, getting ready for harvest. And tomorrow we're on the dumper, and then Tuesday we are starting silage. So thank you very much for watching today's video. Enjoy the weather, whatever you're up to. Maintain that positive mindset, as I always say, and I will catch you on the next one.